Hey everyone, today is Thursday, February 12th, and I skipped a video yesterday again because I was flying all day. I was coming to New York, and then I was so excited to see all my friends that I forgot to post the video, and I actually just remembered this morning that I didn't do it. So here we are, and I apologize for skipping. And I was actually really excited about sharing with you again because on Tuesday I had a series of really, really, really big epiphanies, and that are, I think, have the potential to unlock a lot of what's going on with me and where I'm stuck. And what was happening was that I a lot of projects going on, things I'm actually really excited about. And even though I was excited about them, I wasn't actually doing anything. I wasn't taking action. And, I could force myself to, but I was really curious, like, well, why? So I sat down and I asked myself that. Why is it that even though I am so excited about these things that I'm creating, I'm not actually taking action around putting them out in the world? And I sat and I asked myself that. And instead of trying to figure it out from my head, I let that answer come up. And the first layer of the answer was that I don't know what's going to happen. I'm scared of, if I start doing these things, like, I don't know how I'm going to be able to handle them. I don't know the things that I have to get done. I don't know if I make this mistake or that mistake. What are the repercussions for that? But the deeper layer is that I haven't been being honest with myself. I haven't been having these sorts of conversations with myself where I face all of the ways in which I hold myself back, where I face all of the ways in which I don't like myself. And it was funny because in the past, when I used to be really active with Naked Wellness and I would work with people to create this kind of honesty with themselves so that they could create the life that they want, which requires getting really, really, really honest with who you are and how you hold yourself back and what are the places where you don't like yourself, where you don't love yourself. And I could not understand why people didn't want to do that when the payoff was so big, when the payoff was having a life they really, really love. And I understood, theoretically and intellectually, like, yes, of course, we don't want to be honest with ourselves because we don't want to see those parts of ourselves, the parts that we run away from our whole lives, the parts that we choose to have that chocolate cake or croissant or ice cream or, whatever it is over, the parts that we don't want to see so that we sit down and watch TV or go to happy hour or, create this whole lifestyle of distractions, the parts that we don't want to see. So we go on Facebook or Instagram and we show how cool our life is, trying to convince others, but also ourselves, that we are fine, that we're okay, and that everything's good. And while we are fine and we're okay and everything is good, deep down, there's all of that stuff that's like churning and that feeling of dissatisfaction and that something's missing, that something's wrong. And it is fucking scary to get honest with ourselves and start actually looking at those things, because if we know what's going on, then we might actually have to do something about it. And I knew this intellectually back then, and I even experienced a little bit of it, but I had the kind of courage that we have when we haven't been broken yet, when we haven't been tested yet. But I didn't know that. I thought I was just courageous, and that, you know, other people needed to just be just as courageous. And while that was partly true, I hadn't been tested yet. I hadn't made those big leaps, those big mistakes. And I don't say mistakes to beat myself up. I say mistakes because maybe they were mistakes. They were wrong choices that led to consequences that were really, really hard to handle. And perhaps I didn't handle in the best of ways for a while, but now I'm seeing how all of that actually got me to this point. How now on this side, and funnily enough, I had actually wanted, and I asked at some point, I remember, to be able to understand what it's like on this side, why people don't get what I'm trying to say, why we're speaking different languages, why people are having such a hard time actually choosing to be honest with themselves. And well, having made those mistakes, having gotten to the point where my level of trust with myself, my level of self-doubt with myself is really not what it needs to be for me to take those risks. You know, of course I didn't want to be honest with myself. Of course I didn't want to see all of these things because it's fucking scary. Because if I see it, I will have to make changes. Changes that I don't know if I'm going to be able to handle. Changes that are a risk because I don't know how other people will see me. I don't know if they will pan out. I don't know how people will judge me, if they will still like me, if I will somehow be doing something that's different from what they expect. If I'm going to be breaking the agreements in a sense of like what it means to be a human being, or what it means to be a good friend or a good daughter or a good entrepreneur. Maybe it requires doing things differently to follow my own tune. And that's going to have consequences, and I don't know what those are. And of course that's scary. And now I get it in such a visceral way because I'm going through it. And I'm so excited and grateful now that I made those mistakes, that I fell in love and my heart was broken by someone that I shouldn't have jumped for, that I even got mugged in Guatemala. Like, I can, see how it was a horrible experience, and I certainly wish it hadn't happened, but also I'm grateful because it's gotten me to this place where I'm getting to experience what it's like to rebuild this trust in myself from a place of really, really doubting it. Not from a 0 point like I had before, but from like a -10. What does it take to get to trusting myself fully, to knowing, to being able to follow those intuitions and that inner guidance without shame and without fear, or with shame and with fear, but not letting those stop me. from a place where I'm really, really depleted. And that's a totally different ball game. That's a ball game that I would say probably most people are playing. And I didn't get that before. So I'm excited, even though it fucking sucks, I'm excited that I get it now because I feel like the level of service that I'm going to be able to offer people is a lot higher. It's a lot more applicable. It's a lot more relevant to where they're at. And that makes me happy. So I hope this fills you with hope as well, the way it fills me with hope. And I'm excited to meet you, whoever you are that I'm going to work with. I'm excited to continue on this journey and seeing what it takes to go from -10 trust in myself to merely being able to follow my inner guidance without hesitation. And I'm going to map every step. And these videos are also going to serve as a way to map it, so that I can then share the road with others. Okay, I think that's long enough for today. Thank you, and see you tomorrow.